A custom email address is a must for any business. There's really no arguing about it. However, how do you go about getting one? Because there are multiple ways of doing it. You have your free options, there are email services that are bundled with your web hosting plans, and there are paid, dedicated email hosting services available. What's the difference, and how do these different options impact your overall experience with email reliability, deliverability, and help you bypass the dreaded spam folder? Well, the most crucial thing that you need to understand is the fact that web hosting, a domain name, and email hosting are three separate services. Web hosting is where you place your website files, a domain name is your website name that links to those files, and email hosting is a server that's able to send and receive files using your domain name. For your professional email address to actually work, you will need to have a domain name 100% of the time. There's absolutely no way around it, but for the actual email server, you can use either a web hosting server that you already own, a free server provided by a third-party provider, or a professional separate email hosting server. And of course, I'll get into the setup process as well as the cons and pros of each individual option in this video. But theoretically, the lowest possible price for a professional email address is around $10 per year, just to own the domain name. So let's take a look at what you get if you attach this domain name to a free third-party email service like Zoho. All you need to do here is create a free account and you'll immediately have access to their mail services. Of course, to avoid spam accounts, they will require you to use a valid phone number and validate via an SMS message. But after that, you'll immediately have the opportunity to create a domain-based account using their free tier, which is free forever. To get Zoho Mail working, it's really not all that complicated. You'll need to prove that you indeed own the domain name that you want to send from by adding a TXT record to your DNS. Or in simple terms, it's just copy and pasting one line of text. And there you have it. You can create up to 5 separate email boxes that can be accessed through their web client as well as a mobile app, and you'll have to send and receive emails using your domain name. After that, you'll need to delete your old MX, SPF, and DKIM records, if you have them, while replacing them with the ones Zoho Mail gives you. And this step is just basically more copy-pasting. I won't go through the full process, but in essence, just find the TXT records that mention the specific values, delete or replace them, and once you click this verify button, everything should work fine. Of course, there are some limits because this is a free service. Using Zoho free email, you'll be able to send 150 emails a day with a maximum of 100 simultaneous recipients and use up to 5 different addresses for free. Should you use this? Well, if you don't have a business website hosted and you only have a domain name for just sending out several business emails with proper company branding, sure, 5 accounts is definitely enough for most 1 or 2 people businesses, and the limits won't be something you'll really feel because I feel 150 emails per day, that's quite generous. Now, the much bigger limitation, for me at least, is the fact that you must use the Zoho interface and the mobile interface. You can't connect this email address to something like Gmail or Outlook and have all of your emails in one place, allowing you to send and receive using the traditional Gmail interface. And can these emails end up in the spam folder? Yes, but not necessarily for the reasons you might think. I'll cover this topic more a bit later in the video. But from my experience at least, if you're running a business, the chances are very high that you already have a business website that's hosted somewhere. And a better free solution would be to just use the email hosting that's included within your web hosting service. For example, here, I bought a premium web hosting plan from Hostinger. It was only $35 a year, and it includes a domain name, a web hosting server, and an email service. You can get 10% discount using the link in the description and the code Emit.Reviews if you want to get this plan for yourself. But the main upside of this, that instead of 5 email accounts, you'll be able to create 100. And you won't need to play around with the DNS settings or values. Everything will work automatically. All you need to do is navigate to your email tab and start creating the accounts. You automatically get SPF, DKIM, and DMARC email authentication configured within your DNS settings, making sure to reduce your chances of landing in the spam tab, because these security measures prevent spammers, phishers, and other unauthorized parties from sending emails actually using your website name without your permission. And the best part is that you can actually connect these email accounts to any Gmail account. So you'll conveniently get your email notifications all in one place, and you won't need to keep checking the different email boxes just to make sure you're not missing anything important. And of course, this type of service goes beyond just a hostinger. Providers like Bluehost, DreamHost, SiteGround, Scala Hosting, and pretty much any web hosting provider do have professional email services included within your plans. Of course, Hostinger and other providers also offer a paid version of this type of email hosting. In Hostinger's case, it's $1.59 a month, but if you already have a web hosting plan, it's definitely not worth it. It only raises your storage cap per email box from 1 GB to 10 GB, but you'll have to pay $1.59 for each box that you want to create instead of the 100 you get with the free version. There are no significant additional benefits. The paid version is only there so people that don't want to buy the full package can still get email hosting. So I definitely recommend using the free version instead, if you have a web hosting server. Okay, so what's the biggest threat of using these free services to deliver your emails? Is the fact that you'll still be sharing the server with other people. Sharing the server means you'll be sharing an IP address, so all users send emails from the same IP address. Meaning if someone starts sending spam, Google only sees their IP address and bans it, effectively banning the whole server and everyone in it. Now, everyone who's hosting on that particular server has their emails land in spam, and that's kinda the biggest problem or disadvantage of this method. Of course, you can always check if you suspect that your IP is spam listed by using any email blacklist checking tool like this one. I'll leave the link in the description for this particular tool, but if you are blacklisted, you do have the option to contact the support and have you moved to another server with another IP address. Of course, this doesn't really guarantee that the problem will go away, and switching IP addresses often doesn't really build confidence in your brand in the eyes of Google or other email providers. So to completely solve this problem, you would need to have a dedicated IP address, meaning you're the only person that's using this IP to deliver your emails. Your best bet and a solution that I personally use is G Suite. If you already have a domain name, you can pick up a starter plan for just $6 a month. This gives you by far the highest sending limits and the best chance of not landing your emails in spam due to something you cannot control, like shared hosting server, neighbors' bad behavior. Is it worth the $6 a month? For me, yes. Since I do a lot of email communication and constantly keep in contact with various web hosting companies, an email landing in spam could cost me way more than $6 a month. Even though I do have access to free email through Zoho or Hostinger, I'd much rather just use a singular IP, and this way I only have to worry about my sending habits. But that doesn't mean you can't start with a free version and move to paid email hosting services if you encounter any issues. Now, using this chart, you might notice that all of these sending limits are actually quite low. How do some companies that have an email list that spans hundreds of thousands of clients send emails to all of them? And what should you do if you want to send more than 2,000 emails at once? Well, email services are actually split into bulk email and business email. I've already covered business email, but bulk email services need to be used when you're sending out 5,000, 10,000, 100,000 or more emails all at once. while business emails are more tailored to day-to-day communication, internal communication, business outreach, and proposals, bulk email services are actually tailored to sending out newsletters, password reset letters, welcome letters, and transactional email updates like orders and tracking to an already existing and very large client list. These services automatically include emails in your database when users register for your website or fill out a newsletter form. And then you create an email, choose a list of recipients from the database, and just blast it. None of the options I've talked about before offer this service. They're all business email providers, not bulk email. For that, take a look at services like MailerLite, MailChimp, or SendGrid. My personal favorite is MailerLite as it's the cheapest and offers a very simple tool to design your emails before sending them right from your web browser. So here's a final chart of all of the different options you have. But in my honest opinion, if you only have a domain name or you only need email, go with Zoho. If you have a web hosting server already that you're using for your website, the free emails that included is absolutely fine, no need to upgrade, unless A. You want to increase your delivery rates by using a dedicated IP address and take advantage of the 30 gigabytes of cloud storage via Google Drive, or up to 1 terabyte if you go for the more expensive plans. Or B, you want to send out mass emails or automated emails, in which case you'll need to use a bulk email provider separately. Hope this video answers all of your email hosting for business and personal use needs. If you're planning to start a business, I strongly recommend you pick up the starter package from Hostinger. It's just $35 and you get absolutely everything you need that's included. And I even have a full Hostinger review you can find in this video right here if you're still not sure about the service. But good luck sending your emails, might these spam gods be merciful, and I'll see you in the next video.